I am back today. A few of you guys actually messaged me on Instagram and posted in the comment section on the last video about me making videos on the Forester. And honestly, I actually, for whatever reason, didn't click that in my head. And you know what? I definitely should. But in the meantime, since we got it in, we got basically most of the components. We just got a pedal assembly from Jordan. We got the Spec B 6-speed, the rear def. These are control arms from the Spec B, but we can't use them because these are too wide compared to the Forester XTs. The STI axles for the rear, like I said, and then we have the Spec B front axles because those will fit in direct bolt without changing the hubs. Obviously we can't use the rear cradle. It's a completely different style, width-wise. So basically what we have left to do to figure out, nonetheless, is what we're gonna do with the rear hub assembly, because with the STI axles, they have different spline counts for where the axle slides into the hub. Now, you can't just slide them in, obviously, different spline count. Now, we were trying to figure out if we have to swap knuckles, if we could just swap the hub assembly because they bolt in, or what we'd have to do there. And it looks like we could just straight unbolt the old hub assembly, put a new hub assembly in 5x100 from an 04 STI, and then we'll be good to go. So we could be able to retain his wheels because he wants to keep these. So I really haven't done too much with it yet. I pretty much just took out the automatic shift to linkage in here. So I mean, straight through there, just Driveshaft right now. This is the STI shift linkage that we need to use because the Spec B one is a bit too long, both on this lower arm and the knuckle section up here. This is a lot shorter compared to the Spec B one, and this is what we're gonna need, and we're gonna have to run. Otherwise, yep. So that's out. And basically, what we've got to do next is kind of just start disassembling everything. So like the goal is Sunday, I want to take everything out from at least, axles, rear diff, drive shaft, tranny, get it all out, because we're not going to use it, obviously. We still have to use the automatic drive shaft from the Forester, because this isn't automatic, because the spline counts are the same, and you have to use a Forester XT one, or you have to use an STI one because of the length. The Spec B one was way too long right out of the get-go. I mean, it was crazy long compared to what this one is. So now he's gonna be making 800 horsepower with the Spec B swap. The only thing that kind of stinks about the Spec B is that it doesn't have DC-CD and it has an open diff, but it has nice long gears and it's a 6-speed. So I mean, and evidently it should be able to hold the power and it should be able to last a while, you would think, and we would all hope. So hopefully it does. It looks all fairly new, to be quite honest with you. I mean, even the axles that came straight out of the car, they look immaculate. These are the actual Spec B axles. These two green ones right here, and those other two are STI axles that you have to use for the rear. We can't even use the hub assemblies because I think they're a different style, especially with the front. But, well, no, actually, that's the rear, especially with the front. So we're gonna have to figure that one out too. Otherwise, it looks like so far, all we gotta do is drop it all out, swap the rear hub assemblies to the STI. I had him order a Brembo brake kit, because if you're pushing 800 horsepower, there is no way in this world you are gonna use these stock calipers. No chance. that you're going to be able to stop with those at 800 horsepower. No way. And if you do, it's probably going to happen just a few times, then you're going to wear them out. So I recommended to him a nice 4.2 pot setup. I think we're going with the power stop because they're remans and they're really just Brembos, but with power stops components. So I've heard great reviews about them, and they've been tried and true for quite some time now. A lot of the legacy guys use them. So we're going to try them on this car, and I'm pretty sure, most definitely sure, that it's going to work out very well for them. But otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty clean car. You know, like I said, the difficulty with this is the fact that it is, in fact, an automatic. So that being said, there's like different wiring. You know, we got to put a neutral safety switch in it, or at least like eliminate that problem. It's a little bit finicky because of the fact that it was once an automatic, and you got to put a resistor in the TCU so that way it doesn't think that it needs to be in park, so you can drive it. There's just a lot of weird finicky things, but luckily Jake being a good tuner and him knowing more on the computer aspect of what we actually have to do, it'll work out very well for us. Also, if you haven't noticed, but I did paint the bathroom because that needed to be done. I also painted the door and the other thing there because that green was ugly, and I was sick and tired of looking at that ugliness all the time. I kept Austin's little Louis Vuitton logo. That there should be a TM right there, or R for copyright, whatever it is. But anywho's, stay tuned. This was just like an introductory to what's going on with this car. I will do actual videos, and I'll show you guys kind of like what the step-by-steps are of dropping a trans out of this, and then, you know, how to kind of go about setting up a swap like this. It's really not too complicated. It's just like dropping any trans and swapping another trans in, at least Subaru-wise, and then swapping the rear diffs in. We are a little concerned about the rear diff bushings. Hopefully they are good enough. If not, we'll have to replace them, so we'll have to drop the whole rear cradle, which will be kind of annoying, but we're kind of prepared for it anyways, and we're expecting to see that. So, you know, so that's just the gist on that. I was going to say something else, but I completely forgot. So like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. I'll catch you in the next